up-to-date info of what will be transpiring at the tribunal tomorrow. All the latest development in our major news bulletins across majority of our programs. That's basically what we do here. We give you the top-notch information, verified information with intellectual analysts in their respective fields that will help us analyze and table down these issues. Now, first off, what are we talking about this evening? And hey, remember to subscribe on YouTube. It's at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. That's VOP 903 FM on YouTube. Follow our social media handles as well. Of course, our sister station is VOP TV at VOP TV Live. That is Voice of the People TV. So go on there and subscribe. You'll see what I'm telling you. We have amazing and beautiful content right up there for you. First off, President-elect Tinubu knows it was Buhari who allowed him to win the February election, and that is by the presidency, right? Okay, I'm going to read a little bit into that so we understand where that particular headline is coming from. Now, the presidency has revealed that it was President Muhammadu Buhari who allowed the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win the February 25 presidential election. And this statement was made by Garba Shehu via an interview where he stated that this was why Tinubu took his certificate of return first to go and show Buhari in Daura, Katsina State. And of course, that interview was via the Nigerian Television Authority, where Buhari's senior special assistant on media and publicity, Shehu, said President Buhari, allowed him, Tinubu, to win in a free and fair process. Meanwhile, the outgoing media aide noted that because of the gesture, Tinubu had continued to appreciate and remain grateful to Buhari for allowing him to win the election. Now, on what to expect from the incoming administration, Shehu claimed that Buhari's administration and Tinubu's incoming administration would be the same government run by the All Progressive Congress. Of course, it is expected. They're both running within the same umbrella of the party, so they definitely have to run with the same manifesto. Do you think that that's the wise way to go, considering what this particular 8 years has been? And of course, the incoming administration having to run on the same template. Well, more on that while the program continues. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari also conferred the Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria's highest honor on President-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. The president also conferred the national honor of the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger on the Vice President-elect Senator Kashim Shettima. The investiture of national honors and official handover of transition document ceremony were performed at the State House Conference Center, Abuja, this morning. The 2023 presidential inauguration will mark Nigeria's 7th consecutive democratic transition. Yes, that is quite a whole. A lot of events are being put together for May 29. Trust me, the army, in fact, right now at the moment, there's a lot of heavy military presence in Abuja, in Aso Rock, while, the transition committee for the incoming administration is set. Entertainment is already on the way. Full swing. All the events are already in full swing for the incoming administration on May 29. All right. So we also have this particular development where, I don't know if I should go there. Okay, let's talk about this. Now, Shettima, right, has been asked to speak out on public holiday allegation that the PDP is telling Buhari and the federal government. So this is the information. The People's Democratic Party has asked the federal government and President Muhammadu Buhari to speak out on the allegation of a move to declare Friday, which is tomorrow, May 26, a public holiday as a ploy to stop the Supreme Court from sitting to deliver judgment on the disqualification case against the APC vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima, over double nomination already scheduled for that date. The PDP also called on the federal government to come clean on a further allegation, which is also in the public domain, that the All Progressives Congress is mounting pressure on the Department of State Services to advise President Buhari to declare the public holiday. Now, the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Debo Ologunaba, said the ominous silence by the federal government in the face of such grave allegations is heightening tension across the country and has the capacity to trigger a widespread crisis if not immediately addressed. Would we say exaggerating much? Well, that's left for you to tell us today on the program. Ologunaba in a statement said such reported sinister plot by the All Progressives Congress against the Supreme Court is consistent with the insensitivity, manipulation, abuse of power, and process promoted by the APC as an act of governance in the last 8 years. So that is what a People's Democratic Party person is saying. That, there have been this speculation, this story, that there have been some moves from the president-elect trying to see how they can induce the judges to declare tomorrow a public holiday so that they can stall the hearing proceeding from continuing tomorrow. And that's actually absurd, because I don't want to believe that it's possible. Justice Amani has promised a transparent and objective process. There is no way I think that is going to take place. But then, of course, this speculation came up. But the PDP is asking the APC to actually respond to the allegations that it is not a good one, whereby this speculation has held sway, seems to be holding firm. But hey, we've not heard anything. Tomorrow is not a public holiday. Tomorrow the proceedings will continue and Nigerians will do the needful in terms of what? Being attentive to what takes place at the petition tribunal tomorrow. So I don't think any of such a move will actually happen. This is a democratic society and no one individual can try to flout it for any personal gain. Definitely not going to work. Now, we do know Shetima, that's this person, he's a senator, Shehu Sani, right? So he said something that I don't know if a lot of us would actually agree with, because this argument has been on. And in one of the petitions against the All Progressives Congress is the fact of the double nomination on Kashim Shetima. So Shehu Sani, of course, we know he's a former senator representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District. Yesterday said that the vice president-elect committed no offense for purchasing a senatorial form for the 2023 general election. Senator Kashim Shetima was said to have purchased expression of interest and nomination forms to contest for Senate before he was nominated for presidential running mate to Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Now, his alleged double nomination has been a subject of criticism, with the critics dragging him to the Supreme Court. Shehu Sani made reference to the same scenario, saying that the Senate President Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan contested for the presidential election and recontested to represent Yobe North senatorial seat, which he won. They also added that Godswill Akpabio, who is a senator-elect awaiting inauguration, also contested the presidential election, stressing that Kashim Shetima found himself in the same situation. So he said, and I quote, this is of the person of Shehu Sani, he said, "I don't expect the Supreme Court to rule against a double nomination. No Nigerian should be denied the right and privilege of seeking another office if he fails to get one." We're going to talk more into this as the program continues, because I'm not alone in the studio. I just need to introduce the conversation on the hot topic. Most of the hot topic we'll be talking about this evening. Before I introduce who is with me in the studio, where we actually, divest this matter, talk in-depthly about it, and of course we await what you think concerning the conversation we are having this evening. I already told you, currently we're streaming live on YouTube, so it's important for you to join us. We'd like you to be part of the conversation. All right, you just subscribe at VOP 90.3 FM, as well as our sister station at VOP TV Live. So apparently, the candidates of Nigeria's leading political parties in the February 25 presidential election risk jail term if probed and eventually prosecuted over the contents and direction of their campaigns in the run-up to the fiercely fought electoral contest. Now, a review of the campaigns of Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, and Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress indicates that the candidates engaged in either ethnic, sectional, or religious motivated pitch for votes ahead of the election, in what is a clear violation of Nigeria's electoral law. Now, based on this report, apparently in April, via a telephone interview, which of course the Labour Party and Peter Obi has completely denied and said that particular information or conversation was doctored. Well, apparently, that conversation stipulated that Peter Obi had a conversation with the pastor based on religious lines, which of course is against the 1999 Constitution. However, we also know that in June 2022, for example, Peter Obi asked Nigerians to take back their country during a campaign visit to the Men of Valor Conference, which was organized by the Revival House of the International Church. All right, that is one instance too where it felt like there were religious and ethnic statements made by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Also, in June 2022, Emiloko outburst shocked many Nigerians. Ahead of the presidential primary of the APC, the former Lagos State governor addressed delegates at the presidential lodge in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. He said it was the turn of the Yoruba and therefore his turn to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari. This time again, his own statement was based on ethnic sentiments. So it was based on ethnic affiliations, whereby it was like, it's the time for the Yorubas to be in charge of this country. It's my turn. I had made people kings. It's my turn to be a king. So he said, if not for me that led the war front, President Muhammadu Buhari wouldn't have emerged. He contested first, second, and third time and lost. He cried on television that he wouldn't contest again. I went to his home in Katsina. I told him you would contest and win, but you wouldn't joke with the matters of the Yorubas. Since he has emerged, I have not been appointed a minister. I neither get nor request a contract. This time, it's Yoruba's turn, and in Yoruba land, it's my turn. So this report is basically saying that the three major political parties and their presidential candidates made statements across religious and ethnic lines. So this particular instance, Tinubu's response or statement was across an ethnic line. Apparently, Peter Obi was across a religious line, right? Now, for Atiku Abubakar, he made a statement during an interactive session of the Arawa Town Hall Policy Dialogue in Kaduna in October 2022, where he stated that, or rather urged the Northerners to trust him with their votes because he is one of them and therefore the most qualified to be president. Now, let me read out what he said. I have traversed the whole of this country. I know the whole of this country. I have built bridges across this country. I think what the average Northerner needs is somebody who is from the north, who also understands the other parts of Nigeria and who has been able to build bridges across the rest of the country. Of course, Atiku's statement was across ethnic lines as well. Meanwhile, you recall that in the INEC Electoral Act, the presidential candidates, while conversing for votes, shouldn't make statements that would be across religious or ethnic sentiments. They should rather make their campaigns based on merit, based on what is in the polity and how they can address it. That was basically what the Electoral Act says. This report is literally saying that if this case at the Election Petition Tribunal continues, if INEC is to prosecute Atiku, Tinubu and Peter Obi for violating sections of Nigeria's Electoral Act in their campaigns, they will go to prison based on what is stipulated in the Electoral Act. Again, what is your take on this? That is what we'll be looking at today, this evening. These are the hot topics. Also, something quite interesting developed today in the courts. An appeal court fined a lawyer 40 million naira over frivolous case against Tinubu's inauguration, right? The Court of Appeal in Abuja today imposed 40 million naira fine against an Abuja-based lawyer, Ambrose Owuru, for filing a frivolous suit with which he has sought to prevent the May 29 inauguration. In a judgment today, the three-member panel of the court was unanimous in holding that the appeal by Owuru and his party, the Hope Democratic Party, amounted to an abuse of the court process. So, in the lead judgment, Justice Jamil Tukuru held that the appeal was an invitation for the court to review its earlier decision, which it cannot do. Justice Tukuru said the issues in the appeal had earlier been determined by the court while sitting as an election petition court after the 2019 election, with a judgment given on August 22, 2019. So he equally found that the Supreme Court had also heard the case and pronounced it with a judgment given on October 28. However, Justice Tukuru held that the case having been litigated up to the Supreme Court, it was an abuse of the judicial process for Owuru and his party to seek to want to have the matter re-litigated. In other words, that's him coming to say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu wanting to be inaugurated on May 29 and saying that it should not be. The court found that particular case frivolous and asked the lawyer to pay a fine of 40 million naira, considering the fact that that case was frivolous. Again, I am not a lawyer, but I would like to know, most of us who understand court proceedings on what this particular case is and how this lawyer has been fined 40 million naira. Recall that the Election Petition Tribunal's cases basically will be starting off tomorrow full on. And of course, while we await what transpires there, Nigerians are hopeful and trusting that the judicial system will redeem itself by holding sway, what justice, morality will be in swing, in full swing, while the hearing commences proper. So these are the conversations that we'll be looking at this evening. Now, I am not alone in the studio. Like I told you earlier, I will not be the only person, having to put out the top trending topics that we're looking at this evening on the hot topic right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I have in the studio Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington, good evening and welcome to the Evening Rush.
Good evening, Esther. How are you today?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm okay. Good evening, Lagos. Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, diaspora.
Yeah, so you can see the issues that we're considering today. I want to start with this particular conversation by Shehu Sani, a former senator. He made a statement. He said that the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima, that the court would not hold the double nomination case against him. He mentioned that other senators as well, who were in the same position, did not have anything relegated against them, right? So he literally stated that anyone thinking that that particular aspect will, be a fault or be a porous line, right, for the All Progressives Congress tomorrow, it's not going to hold sway. He said he does not expect the Supreme Court to rule against a double nomination, that no Nigerian should be denied the right and privilege of seeking another office if he fails to get one. So he gave instances. He said something that the senator actually said that one of the other senators, that is Godswill Akpabio, who is a senator-elect awaiting inauguration, also contested the presidential election. That means he bought a nomination of interest form to contest. He also stressed that Kashim Shettima found himself in the same situation. He also made reference to say that Senate President Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan contested as well for the presidential election while he still had the seat as the Senate President. And that is to represent Yobe North Senatorial, which he won. So he was nominated in two aspects, being the Senate President and also contesting to be the President. And that with these individuals having to have the same double nomination, he doesn't see the court having to use that as a loophole or as a local standard against Kashim Shettima or the duo of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima. What's your take on that?
Yeah, Esther. In fact, I would have loved to delve into this matter. But for the mere fact that it will be sub judice.
Okay.
The matter is coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
And I don't want to be speaking for the court.
Okay.
It's not proper. No lawyer in his right sense will do that. When the matter is in court, more so when the ruling is almost here, you allow the court to exhaust what they have. As for Shehu Sani, I think he's being presumptuous by telling us the court will not do this. Is he telling the court what to do? Is that what Shehu Sani is saying? Look, you don't compare apple and orange just because they are fruits. The two cases he was referring to, they are distinct. They may sound the same, but they are distinct. They are distinct from each other. When you go into the nitty-gritty of that matter, they are distinct. So he cannot say that a president has been set. No, he can't say that. So I don't think I want to go deep into this matter until after tomorrow. Then we can now do analysis. But for me to sit down here and be telling the court because of this, don't do, no, it's not proper. No lawyer will do that. No lawyer will do that. Let us allow the courts to do what they are supposed to do. Then give reason. They should give reason. Ratio decidendi for their action, for their ruling. So that we can now look at it as lawyers and see whether it meets the standard.
All right. So what about the scenario where we have a PDP person, a PDP spokesperson saying that there have been allegations against the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate who is now president-elect, that there are some inducements, all right? Because that particular speculation, I think I heard it earlier this week. And I was like, okay, how is that even possible? no matter how supposedly financially buoyant an individual is or supposedly powerful, even if the person owns several states that makes up Nigeria, is it possible for him in broad daylight to actually hold that kind of power? So the speculation was that he was trying to induce or lean on heavily on President Muhammadu Buhari so that tomorrow will be declared a public holiday and the hearing will not commence, just in case the court may say, oh, well, let's stall the inauguration, or one or two issues brought up by the opposition parties may actually put their, them clinching the tickets, clinching the win rather, in jeopardy. And they're saying that since that speculation came about, that everyone has been mum, that is, especially from the All Progressives Congress, they've not said anything to dispute that. And they're asking, they said they're calling on the federal government, they're calling on the spokesperson of the APC presidential campaign team or any of their team to respond to that speculation, because there is literally no smoke without fire. But do you think that kind of information or story can actually have any body, can have any weight? Because I don't see it though. But when speculations come up, it has a way of holding grip.
Yeah, tomorrow is the 27th of May. And it is supposed to be Children's Day. And the last time I checked, we have not been...
No, tomorrow is 26. Children's
Oh,
Day is on
sorry.
Saturday.
Yeah, it's true. Tomorrow is 26, sorry. Then Children's Day is 27. So I was asking, because I spoke on a platform earlier today, and I was asking, what is the need for the holidays tomorrow, or for the suspicion? We are not holding. There is no national event that will warrant holidays tomorrow. And since nobody have said anything, especially from Arebe Shola, we should see it as a rumor. And rumors most times, though in Nigeria, rumors later turn out to be true. But even if they want to do that, my dear, it will not stop what is going on in the courts. You know why?
Why?
Electoral matters take precedence above every other thing. It is time bound. No holidays can encumber sittings of on electoral matters. No holidays can encumber it. They can only ask the court, even if they want to give holidays, they can only ask the court.
But
court
this
staff.
particular PDP person is saying that if speculations come like this and you don't say anything to douse it, it could give a wrong impression. Because people were asking, is tomorrow public holiday? And you've not heard officially from the Minister of Interior.
They flew a kite to know the mood of the nation, and he sent tongues wagging. So they've discovered that it will not fly. That's why nobody said anything. And I think it will not be proper for them to put holidays for what? Even if you want to do it, there must be a reason. You don't just wake up and declare public holiday. You must give reason. And if they didn't give any reason, that is where the problem is. So they must have weighed it and discovered that, look, there's no need. Even if somebody made such a suggestion, they would have asked themselves, come, if we declare public holidays tomorrow, what are we going to tell Nigerians that is the reason for the public holidays? No reason. So even if somebody made such a suggestion, it's dead on arrival. That's why you must think twice before you say things and you do things, because it may backfire. If you try that tomorrow, that means you have killed every morale. You have killed every sense of responsibility on the court. You have killed in fact, you have buried the mind of Nigerians. Everything that comes out from that decision of the court will be suspicious, because people will now conclude that, okay, so this is it. So I don't think they will make that mistake. I don't think so. They won't make that mistake.
Okay, so it's about 5 days, all right, to President Muhammadu Buhari handing over to President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, here is this scenario. There is this particular amount of money called judgment debt pay. Because I need to understand, we've been having a lot of monies, right?
Yes.
Being asked to be approved, being requested to be approved by the Senate from the executive, that's from the president. One is wondering what's going on. It feels like a last minute rush for a lot of monies to be approved. Now, there are a lot of cases that the federal government ought to have won that it did not win. And so in these cases, they're meant to pay most of these, whoever it is that, won the case against the federal government, they ought to have paid them. Now, within 8 years, this debt has accrued. It has accrued to, listen to this, all right? It has accrued to $566,754,584,000.31, which is about 98,526,012 pounds. Also, another 221,801,881,881,064 kobo. That is the money that President Muhammadu Buhari is literally asking the Senate to approve, called, judgment debt pay. That's about 539 billion naira judgment debt pay. He also asked his ministers to remain in office up till the last minute of his administration, which will expire on the midnight of May 28. The president and his ministers have, in the last couple of weeks, been taking serious decisions, approvals, and appointments with government officials, saying they have the right to do whatever they believe are within the law. Now, some experts have argued that while it is true that the government must continue, certain decisions like last-minute award of contracts, borrowings, or appointments ought to have been left for the incoming administration, that's the incoming government. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari's request for approval to pay $556 million, about 98 million euros or 98 million pounds, and 226 billion naira judgment debts was contained in a letter read yesterday by Senate President Ahmed Lawan. Recall too that President Muhammadu Buhari requested for 22.7 trillion naira ways and means. Also, 800 million naira was asked to be approved by the Senate. Okay, so in the last couple of weeks, we've been asking, or possibly in the last 1 month, several monies have been asked by the Senate to be approved. So exactly what are these monies being used for? Is it a last minute rush to line up pockets? A last minute rush to say, okay, fine, we may not be reappointed, all right, in the incoming administration, so let's make do with what? Could it also be that President Muhammadu Buhari is not aware of some of the things he's asking the Senate to approve? I don't know, because it seems ridiculous. And they said there's no money in the Treasury single account. There's no money in the purse. So what exactly is going on?
Yes, Esther. You see, when you see things like this, you will now ask yourself whether these people have any patriotic spirit for Nigeria. It's like the god of Mammon have taken hold of our treasury and he want to loot everything. Look, these people is like a last minute cash out for the boys. Even if they approve this money, it won't get to the people who owns it. Nobody is going to give anybody any money. Nobody is going to pay any judgment debt. They will roll it over to Tinubu's regime. If they approve this money, nobody will disburse it.
5 days to,
yes.
5 days. The reason is this. Do you know what it takes, the process it takes?
That is what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. So that it will not tell you what these people, the mind of these people, their mindset. That money, immediately they just sign signature. The money will just disappear into pockets of these people who are living. They will share it and then everybody go home. That is it. Then when Tinubu comes, the people will still be demanding the money for the judgment debt. And Tinubu will never, I don't think Tinubu will have the guts to go and ask Buhari, the money you approve, where is it? I don't think so.
Someone is even asking that, that's Tony Chukudi on YouTube is saying, why didn't they approve the money earlier than in their last minute stay in power?
That is what I'm telling you, that the boys just discovered that there are other means to chop. These things are kept for the last minute because yeah, before now, everybody was speculating whether the handover will take place, whether this thing will stay through and all that. So it's like they have gone into their coven. And after the meeting, the God told them, oh yeah, we'll hand over. And everybody started rushing. Everybody started rushing. Because they didn't know where the direction was going. So when they now commune with the gods and their paymasters, and they discover that this thing is maybe they have seen the bubble trap and everything, and they discover that they really must hand over. They started looking for means to line their pocket. It's a last minute rush. It's not as if they didn't know. They didn't know the direction the handover will go and all that. They didn't know where the court will be going and all that. So when they now discover that they have no choice, that is the reason for this. You are even talking. How about the woman for humanitarian ministry? Hadia, whatever. She has been commissioning projects, up to 6 of them. I said every one of them, to tell you that these people, they didn't come to govern you. I'm telling you. When you see this, you now know the type of people that have been in government for the past 8 years. They came to, in fact, they came to mess up Nigeria's economy. Nothing else. Where we are there all this while, where we are there, that means all this, there was no governance. It's all about sharing money, sharing money, sharing money. Somebody will just sit down somewhere and discover that there is money somewhere. They will now go to Buhari, Oga, look at this, approve it so that you can work with it. And the man will sign. They will go and share. This one will come, Oga, there is something here, let us look at it. He will sign. If not, why didn't Buhari ask them, where were you all this while before you are bringing all this in for approval? Because apparently he didn't know some of these things. Now somebody brought it to his notice. Yes, now some people brought it to his notice, and he thought those people meant well. No, they didn't mean well. Oh, it is last minute cash out for the boys, because I don't see Tinubu going back to ask any of them to return the money. He will never do that. They told you he was coming to consolidate what Buhari have done, so he can never ask them. All this while that these things are going on, have you seen Tinubu utter a word? No. Even the appointment. You mean if Tinubu come into office now, he will change the accountant general of the federation, who is even Tony? Apparently she's a Yoruba lady. You mean she will ask her to leave? He wants to appoint his own. Is it possible? Buhari is setting up a booby trap. He wants to test Tinubu's loyalty.
Really?
Yes. Now, whether he will continue, as he said, that he will continue from, that's why they are doing all these things.
That's what was said today. In fact, Tinubu actually promised that he will continue. It's
exactly.
An administration that will continue with the blueprint.
So the moment he comes in now, and maybe he now said that all those things I said is political statement. Oh, you want to? They say, so you have betrayed Oga. You have betrayed your Gabi. Yes. Now they will see it as betrayal. You promised to. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? So they have already run the government for Tinubu.
All right. So here's the thing, right? The police have issued a strong warning against those who may be attempting to stop Tinubu's inauguration. I don't even think it's possible for anybody to stop any inauguration.
These people,
let's listen to it, Mr. Darlington. Let's listen to it.
Here to provide an update on the security plan developed by the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies for the 2023 presidential inauguration ceremony. The inauguration is scheduled to take place on Monday, May 29, 2023, at the Eagle Square in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Since the conclusion of the 2023 general elections and the announcement of the president-elect, security has been beefed up throughout the country. We have formed specific plans for the inauguration ceremony as contained in the operation order, which will provide enhanced protection while allowing invited guests, well-meaning Nigerians, and international community to witness the laudable event. We work hand in hand and in collaboration with all levels of government, private sectors, the Nigerian Armed Forces, and other security agencies to ensure the safety and security of all citizens, and having a laudable. Amongst these operatives for Nigerian Police Force are those that are drawn from Nigeria Police Special Forces, Police Mobile, May 26, 2023, at the Central Mosque, Abuja. There will be a church service on Sunday, May 28, 2023, at Ecumenical Center in Abuja. And there will be fireworks show at about 12:01 hours on May 29th, Monday, 2023, at the City Gates, Abuja. Nigerians are on this note advised not to panic due to the fireworks show, as we'll be hearing heavy bangs and sounds from the show. There's no cause for alarm. In view of the above, the Nigerian police hereby warns Nigerians who do not have any business around the vicinity during the ceremony to stay clear as security measures are in place to ensure sanity and orderliness. The police wishes to equally inform the general public that there will be diversions in the following areas: Good Luck, Jonathan Express, by Court of Appeal, Deeper Life Junction, Guns Total Filling Station,
And so that is a severe warning from the police stating that anyone who has no business where the inauguration process will take sway should not be there, and that they're already prepared, they put punitive measures in place for anyone who may want to go contrary to, what already has been on ground. Now, I already told you earlier that the president-elect and his team have put together a huge event. There's a process that will commence actually from tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, up until when inauguration is taking place. So here again is the thing. A couple of people feel that the inauguration will not take place because of certain situations, which of course we're expecting that will be discussed tomorrow based on what evidence that the lawyers have at the Election Petition Tribunal. Mr. Darlington, here is the thing. Nigerians actually want to trust and believe the electoral system, rather the judicial system. And there were talks about the fact that each of these presidential candidates, specifically the major three, right, made statements during their campaigns that contravened the Electoral Act. One was basically the fact that they did their campaigns usually based on religious and ethnic lines. We do know that this election really had serious ethnic undertone. It was one of the major factor that was used by the political elite to push themselves ahead. And would we say it worked? Maybe to a certain level it did. So here is the thing. This report states that if INEC is to prosecute these three political parties based on the fact that they contravened that aspect of the Electoral Act, whereby during their campaign that they made statements that, were around religious and ethnic lines or ethnic sentiments to garner votes or garner sympathy and garner support for their cause, that they could literally go to prison. Do you think that can actually take place?
There are things that you and I know that is not possible. INEC is trying to overreach himself. Even if INEC is trying to push the argument further, INEC will go to jail too now, because INEC too violated his own electoral law. So how can Ketolo call Paul to black? It's not possible now. So that it should not even go there. In fact, the problem we are battling with today in the court, it was caused by INEC. If they have done the needful, I don't think anybody would have gone to court for anything. So INEC should not even raise that issue. The election have proved to you that some people don't want this country to be united. Some people, they are deliberately trying to enlarge our fault lines. And it's unfortunate. the leadership of this administration started it with nepotism. So the people have taken a cue. That is why, as a leader, what you do and what you say matters a lot in your country. Anybody who wants to blame the politicians for running to their ethnic enclave for vote, then he should ask himself, the president, how did he run the country? The federal character principle, did he adhere to them? Did he follow them? That is the issue. So nobody should blame the politicians. They went to where they will get votes. That is the fact. So that argument, it does not even arise in the first place, because that is how they have set up the country.
Now, but the DSS is saying that they have uncovered plots by some unscrupulous elements to scuttle the inauguration proceedings of May 29. They said that based on, intelligence reports they've gathered from some quarters, that some elements intend to make sure that they undermine the efforts of the security agencies, as well as cause panic among the citizens. Now, we do know, if you remember, right, when the campaign was starting off, where the INEC chairman actually made some statements which seemed like he was the one actually causing the panic by stating that elections may not take place because of the killings and kidnapping that was going on across various areas or regions of the country. And when he made that, questions were being asked: who is giving you your intelligence report? Why are you the one causing the fear and panic when you're supposed to, strengthen the belief and the hope of Nigerians that, don't worry, come what may, these elections will hold sway? Do you think that is the same method the DSS is applying? Because they said this is the second time they're coming to make this statement that they have intelligence that there are some individuals who intend to scuttle the May 29 inauguration.
This is not the second time. It's about the fourth time. If you ask me, it is the DSS that is causing panic. By raising these issues, they are the one causing panic in the polity. I mean, why is it that every time they will come and tell they have uncovered, where are the people? Are they faceless? You have uncovered. That thing you uncovered, it does not have identity. Every time you have uncovered, that thing you are uncovering, where is it? We have not seen anything. So it is the DSS that is raising this alarm on it. So I don't know whom they are trying to impress. Maybe they want more money from the president so that they can beef up security. I don't know. Because it sounds so funny. You have been telling us till forever that you have been uncovering things. Yet we have not seen one single thing you have uncovered. So why are you saying it? If you are not ready to show us what you have uncovered, then keep quiet. Keep quiet. You are the one causing this panic. I'm beginning to think that there is nothing safe. There's no reason for this alarm. They are just raising it. I don't know whether they are flying a kite or something. You don't do this as a secret service. You don't do this. You don't. This is not how secret service work. That's not how things are done. When America was trying to smoke out Osama bin Laden in Pakistan, nobody had any. They didn't talk. Even when they built that special plane that landed in that compound, they were doing discreetly until the D-Day, and Obama was watching it in the Situation Room. I don't know how we just do things. In fact, I don't know. If the DSS is this efficient in uncovering things, why haven't they covered where the terrorists are coming into Nigeria to come and disturb us?
Mr. Darlington, do you know that 539 billion naira judgment debts pay, right?
Yes.
Now, you know that, like I just asked you a question, how comes just a few days into the inauguration, the federal government is still borrowing and awarding contracts?
I told you.
But they have actually, they replied, they said that, they replied critics and said that they will continue to borrow and award contract until that midnight.
That is
and
it.
It was the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, that declared that President Muhammadu Buhari's administration will award contracts by midnight of May 28.
Good.
And he made this statement in Akure, Ondo State, while he was flagging off the 90 billion naira dualization of the 49-kilometer dilapidated Akure Ado-Ekiti highway. He said people are asking why we are still awarding contracts when we have just a few days to go. He now says, should we stop this road now and wait for the next government? He said it's a juvenile conversation. They forgot, among other things, that the term of this administration ends at midnight on May 28th.
Good.
So it means that the administration can still borrow up until midnight of May 28th, whether
you
external
serious?
borrowing, whether awarding of contracts, it is within their purview to do. So whatever critics are saying, it's their business.
Good. Bravo to Fashola. Please, somebody should go and buy him amala and send me the bill.
Why?
Yes, now he has made a very good statement. In fact, he has done so well. This is the reply of a minister who has been there for 8 years. It is this 11th hour that they are going to build all the roads. It is this 11th hour that, look at what he's even saying, that they can borrow. He does not even, in fact, he did not even feel ashamed saying it. So you are a government of borrow, Abi. You are a government of borrowing. You can imagine. He did not even tell you how they are going to even administer the funds at that 11th hour. You are going to borrow. He did not even tell us why they have not finished this project for 8 years. It is that 11th hour that they are going to finish whatever. The one they borrowed before, where is the input? What is the result? The one they borrowed before. Fashola should have told us now. Lagos-Ibadan Express Road that he promised us since how many this thing ago? What came out of it? What came out of it? All the projects they promised, what happened to them? They are even doing ad hoc arrangements. Some of them are even 50, maybe 50 or 60% completed. Eh? None of them, you can't go to them and say that all these projects that are commissioned, they are 100% none of them. None of them. After all, Buhari came here to commission a blue line for Lagos State that will run from CMS to Badagry side also, through my two. Esther, have you seen that thing on the road? Have anybody entered that blue rail? That is the deceit. When they want to impress some gullible Nigerians, they will go and do some arrangements somewhere, say they are commissioning projects. Meanwhile, nothing is on ground. Nothing. It's just a way to impress somebody that they are working. You commission something since January, yet nobody have accessed it up till now, and you are still telling me that you are a government.
But President-elect, while he was being conferred the GCFR honor, by President Muhammadu Buhari, said that he's going to run an all-inclusive government.
We heard it from Buhari. We heard it. Look, Tinubu told you he was coming to consolidate what Buhari did, and he had learnt a lot of lessons. In fact, he have understood the Buhari. So he told you that is APC. They are good in propaganda. They are good in telling the people one thing and doing another. I can no longer be deceived. Buhari told us the same thing. That was part of the things that made Nigerians to believe in him initially. He sold us a dummy, and people bought it, except some of us. I thank God those who were calling us wailing wailers. Let them come and call us wailing wailers again. Because that was what they were calling me now. Today, I thank God I've been proven right. So if Tinubu is telling us they say money shows the day, we have seen what is going on at the National Assembly. How they are trying to put their own there and all that. How they are trying to shortchange some regions. We have seen it already. Tinubu did his transitional committee members. Nobody came from the southeast. As if he did not get one vote from the southeast.
Well, but Fashola is saying that it's within the administration's right to do so.
Yes,
and
now
because it is still within their tenure.
They must give,
and if they need to award contracts, if they need to also borrow monies, so long as it's still within the administration. But the question is, most of these things could have been done way before now.
Is that not what we are saying? This excuse is very, very lame. Very, very, very pedestrian. Very, very lame. He's saying it's a juvenile argument. He's the one that is making juvenile statements. Because he should have told us where he was all this while, for 8 years. That he's telling us he will borrow money until the last minute. If you borrow the money, how will you administer it? Okay, you hand it to, okay, they are borrowing money on behalf of Tinubu. Okay. Yes, that is true. They are borrowing yes, now they borrow money and then hand it over to Tinubu to administer, as if he does not have a mind of his own.
Well, Tinubu will come in with his own template.
That is what I'm telling you. They have told you it is APC to APC. So everything they do, Tinubu dare not. He dare not alter it. That is what they are telling Tinubu. By this thing they are doing, they will borrow money until, I don't know. Maybe these people, they selected them. They went somewhere and then they groomed them to be behaving and talking the same way. I'm telling you. Because I can't point out one star minister in this administration. Somebody you can say, yes, this one, in fact, he's somebody. None of them, no star minister in this administration.
What of the NAFDAC DG?
You said what?
The NAFDAC DG.
NAFDAC?
She's also trying now. You said there's no star minister.
Is he a minister?
But at least she's a government representative.
No. In fact, even if you want to give award to any government agency, I will give it to Buba Marowa.
Yes.
If you are going outside the real executives, the Buhari and his ministers, if you look at all the other MDAs, it is Buba Marowa say NDLEA. The man have done a lot of good job. I'm telling you, he has. I don't know what would have happened if this man did not do what he did. Maybe drug this thing would have overrun Nigeria. Look at all the heat he has been making. Imagine if this man was not up and doing, and all these drugs that he has been seizing is allowed to circulate into this country. Do you know what would have happened? So, if anybody can get my vote, it is Baba Warowa, no other person. No other. All of them, they are there to loot and loot and loot and loot without no accountability. And Mr. Integrity is there. Esther, as I talk to you now, none of them have declared their assets. And they are living by Monday. Nobody.
And they're supposed to.
In fact, it is a sine qua non.
The Code of Conduct Bureau actually asked them to, it's almost a month now, to
who
ask them to declare
answered
their
them?
assets.
When your guy have not done, how can you tell Omushe to do? Tell me. Oga have not done his own. How can he have the mouth to tell Omushe, oh yeah, go and do the same thing? No, you can't do that now. All these things are just deceit all over. Telling us that he is not corrupt. That if you are looking for past presidents that are corrupt, that you have problems. When I hear such things, I just laugh. Whom are you telling? You mean you don't have anything in Niger Republic where you have told us that you are going to stay? You don't have anything there.
Yeah, he says Niger will defend him. If Nigerians,
you don't have anything there.
If Nigerians will stop him, Niger will defend him.
So look at that statement. Is that the statement of a president who ruled for 8 years in a country that he called his own? In a country that he has a patriotic mind to rule? That means ab initio, his mind was never in Nigeria.
No, he says that he has done his best. He literally said, no, well, okay, if you had listened to the conferment today, when he conferred the Grand Commander to President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he said that his administration, he gave credit to his administration on all the areas that they actually worked hard in and the achievements they were able to make. Despite the shortcomings in terms of security, he says that his administration had actually done way better in some sectors than other.
Where are those sectors?
Other presidents. Now, but let's look at this purview, Mr. Darlington.
Yes, let's mention. Yes, let's begin to tick the box. I'm listening. Go ahead,
Mr. Darlington. Let's look at this purview.
Maybe you want to play the devil's advocate. Go ahead.
It's not playing the devil's advocate.
Right on.
If you're a leader and you feel you have done better in some certain areas, you can boast of it, regardless of the challenges. You do know that President Muhammadu Buhari would not, whether anybody who criticizes him, he doesn't care. He will tell you that this is what he thinks. His media aide actually just spoke at the moment. You know, that was today.
Esther, let us see the achievement.
Okay, so
read them out.
Let's look at this particular scenario. As the hearing commences tomorrow, right? In as much as Nigerians are actually looking forward to it. Realistically, though, with most of these issues that we're talking about this evening, why don't we have a method of check and balances and a situation whereby the legislature seems to be afraid of the executive? Executive comes and says, I want you to do this. And you don't give critical questioning as to why you want to do this.
You see?
And even at the end of the day, sometimes you let it pass. I was having a conversation earlier today on our sister station, that's at VOP TV. And one of the guests said something that it is because Nigerians themselves are not questioning, or they're not asking the right questions. That the only time they may actually, do the needful is possibly when maybe it's a field situation that affects them directly on their day-to-day activities, or maybe there's a sky-high price in kerosene and all of this. That ideally, when this kind of statements come up, the borrowings, the monies, people right to question the government for it if the legislature will not do so. Why do we have a system of governance where there seems to be no check and balances?
What you are saying happened in Buhari's government. Under Jonathan, we saw governance. We saw check and balances.
Are you sure?
Okonji-Iweala was...
Are you sure?
Hold on, I'm coming. I will give you examples. Under Jonathan, he did not to put his hand in the economy. He handed it over to Okonji-Iweala, and the woman did her best. That is why you saw the exchange rate where it was before Buhari came into office. That is why you saw the economy. All these things that people are saying, how much were we buying a bag of rice? How much was this? It was because there was governance.
What about the second Niger bridge? Is that not an achievement?
Esther. Esther.
Sir?
I don't want to quarrel with you before Precious come back. Please.
Mr. Darlington, I'm asking you.
Please, second Niger bridge, was it the one that started it?
Or at least he completed
Hold on.
it.
Who completed? Who told you that it has been completed?
I think they've commissioned it now.
Are you telling me that it is... Hold on. Hold on. Second Niger bridge, for what use and for what purpose?
Mr. Darlington.
Hold on.
You're not hopeful.
I don't want... hold on. I don't want that thing to be used as a blackmail against the Southeast.
Okay.
Don't use it as a blackmail. Second Niger bridge. At what cost? You mean I should thank you that you use an entire 1 month salary to cook a pot of soup? And when I ask you where is the money, you say, but I cook a soup now. Is that a responsible attitude?
You can give credence now. Other administrations that ran on that campaign did not fulfill it. But if you feel
Hold on. You see, somebody laid the foundation. That means the person had the intention to complete it. And since they said government is a continuum, if you have done what you're supposed to do, why must that be a problem? Answer me. Are you telling me that PDP never did anything in office? The Abuja they have completed it 90% now before Buhari came into office. So I don't want this blackmail that he... So one single project is what he's now using to blackmail all of us that he did, upon all the money that was borrowed. Can't you get it? We are talking of an economy that has been wrecked with no visible evidence. Do you know that the money they spend to bring that locomotive, Abuja Kaduna train, is twice the money the Morocco used to build their own bullet train in Nigeria? The whole Nigeria, do you have a place where you can say this is the bullet train like you have in US underground train? I mean in UK. Do you have such a thing? Look at the locomotive they brought from China that is breaking down in the middle of the forest with no security, nothing. This is what they are using to blackmail everybody that they did it. Maybe had nothing. Were you not here when the military wrote that all the money that they were given to buy equipment, they went to go and buy refurbished equipment? And that's why the soldiers were being slaughtered in the battlefield. Were you not here? We discussed it here now.
You did.
So what are you saying? These are part of the blackmail they are using against Nigerian propaganda. Telling us every time, second Niger bridge. Is it not human beings that are going to use that bridge? Hold on. Is it not human beings? If all of them have died under your watch, who will not use the bridge? No, hold on. These people are in the IDP camp in Benue. Are they not human beings? The insecurity in the Southeast, will you allow anybody to even use that bridge in the first place? You build on human capital. Human capital, they are more important. Buhari should have told us how he have enhanced our human capital development. He should have told us that. That when he came in, the universities were nowhere. That now our universities can be rated at least the first 50 in the whole world. We will listen to him. That is where you build your human capital. So what are you saying? Under his watch, universities were closed for 8 months in this country. And you are building infrastructure. You are building a rail line from Kano to Niger. And I should clap for you. What is the economic value of that business? Tell me. Is that not why he said he's going there? Please, let nobody go there. You build a second Niger bridge. And so what? Somebody laid the foundation now. Is it only the Igbo that will be using that bridge? If you want to use that one to impress me. No, is it only that the Igbo that will be using it? Eh? We are talking of real issues here. At what cost? The money you borrow to come and account for them. Precious, come and account for them. You cannot tell me that Precious. You want to build a... I mean, sorry, Esther.
Mr. Darlington, don't worry, Precious will be here.
No, hold on. It's you that is making me to be calling your names like that.
My name is Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington.
Hold on. If you,
the idea is
hold on. If you want me to believe in what you are doing, please come and account. Do you know this NGO called Budget?
Yes.
They track government expenditure. Please go there and see. Esther, go there and see. You will cry. Go there and see how your money is being wasted on infrastructure. You will weep for Nigeria.
And replicated ministries and parastatals.
3 times over. I wish Nigerians will go and assess that thing and see what I'm talking about. And you come and tell me your infrastructure. Can you just imagine? You were here when somebody borrowed 23 trillion naira from CBN without
for ways and means.
No record of approval. When the thing got to National Assembly, they said, okay, we have agreed or you borrowed this 23 trillion. Please come and tell us what you use this for so that we can approve it. Up to today, nobody brought anything. 23 trillion naira.
That brings me back to the question I asked you, Mr. Darlington.
So let
checks and balances.
Nobody go there. Look, it was under Buhari that those things were eroded. Under Buhari, he is the judiciary, he is the legislature, he is the executive.
But Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari wrote on the 3 tripod of resuscitating the economy, fighting corruption and insecurity. So what transpired between when that campaign was made in 2015, also in 2019, and now?
Precious, I mean, Esther, I told you, please. It's okay. I watch my tongue. You know, the tongue is a slippery place.
No, it's not slippery.
It's slippery.
You can't contain it.
Okay.
You can't contain the tongue.
Okay, I've heard. I will be more careful now. Now, you remember that when Buhari came into office, he delayed to appoint his ministers for 6 months.
For 6 months.
Good. People said he said he was going to select angels from heaven, and we waited. When the appointment now came, what happened? Is it not the same? That is when I knew that this administration is not going anywhere. I didn't see one technocrat. But to consider the administration of Obasanjo and Jonathan, didn't they go outside the party to go and source for materials, to go and source for experts from outside Nigeria? Was it not Obasanjo that discovered the Konji Wala? Akinwumi and Adesina and Co. Look at what those people did in office. Go and look at that. Is why immediately they left. International organization, we are looking for them. Since Buhari dropped some ministers in his first term, have anybody gotten an appointment even in Togo here? I said Togo. Have you seen any of them that got any appointment outside here? But all the people that work with Jonathan, almost all of them, international, they were poaching them like this. All of them. From Arun Maote to Baten Naji to Akinwumi and Okonjo-Iweala got tired of appointments. If I were Buhari, I would have gone to source people to help me. Look at it. He claims he knows everything. Look at where we are today. That is where this problem started. So when you are saying that he want to be everything. Buhari want to be everything. One of the laws in the 48 laws of power is that do not outshine your master. Do not outshine your master. It's a cardinal sin in the mafia kingdom. The mafia lord is all and all. Whatever he says goes, whether it's wrong or right. That is how this administration was run. You don't challenge him. Whatever he says. Look at how he single-handedly appointed Oshomole as the national chairman of APC. And look at how he single-handedly removed him. Up to today, APC does not have a BOT. Have you asked yourself the reason? That is the highest decision-making organ of any party. APC does not have any. No BOT in APC. They don't have. It is just a thing gods who will come and decide what will happen.
All right, Mr. Darlington,
So in such an administration, how do you think there will be progress?
Let's take calls. Let's take calls. Let's take messages.
How can they make progress?
We are keeping the hope alive, Mr. Darlington. Again,
all the people that we are supporting this. Hold on.
Mr. Darlington, we need to take calls.
I know. Hold on. I want to add this. Hold on. You were asking why. Let me tell you what happened. APC came into office. I hypnotize Nigerians.
No, they can't hypnotize Nigerians.
Hey, really?
Nigerians have a mind of their own.
Yes, hold on. The people that went to Ojota to go and lament about Jonathan and fuel subsidy, where were they? You mean all of them have traveled abroad? They are all of them done jackpot?
But you know that the same APC is the one that is running now. So would we say that Nigerians were still hypnotized this time around?
When NSAS happened, what happened? What happened with NSAS protesters? That is what they used to shut you down. Whenever you want to protest, they will tell you, remember NSAS. So that's what they did.
All right.
So how do you hypnotize the people? Is it not by
let's take calls
teleguiding their mind?
You can actually follow us on YouTube at the moment. It's Voice of the People 90.3 FM at VOPTV Live. You can actually send a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. All right. It's the evening rush right here, and it's the hot topic pally. We've actually had quite a number of conversations on the several issues that basically are on the top notch today, or rather on the hot table. And I have with me in the studio Mr. Darlington, who has passionately been giving his personal opinion on the topics that have been reeled out today on the hot topic this evening. My name is Esther Wachuku. You can actually call in now. Would appreciate you being. Let's hear from you. Let's hear your own part of the conversation that we're having this evening. Mr. Darlington has made a couple of utterances on the topics that we've had this evening, or rather I have introduced. I want to hear what you think about what he has said. Are you in or are you against some of the things he has said? And please, I would love you to come with logical instances, credible instances that a lot of us can actually refer to. That's basically what the hot topic is all about. It's not just one person's perception or opinion. It's also about you and what you think. We're actually having a lot to talk about this evening. Number to call is 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. You can also send a WhatsApp message to 0700 903 9039. What we discussed today is quite important for us to hear from you, whereby today the president-elect was conferred the honor of the GCOFR, and of course he said he's going to run an all-inclusive government. There's going to be no religious or ethnic sentiment in his administration. He's going to put in a capable set of cabinet members that will help take the country to the next level in every phase, especially the areas whereby this current administration seem to have been weak or seem to not have really had a sense of direction. Basically, that's what he said. Also, there were speculations, especially for the fact that, based on the hearing that will commence tomorrow, that the All Progressives Congress may try to push President Muhammadu Buhari to declare tomorrow a public holiday, whereby the judgment will be held off, or rather the proceeding will be held off to commence after the inauguration. However, the Supreme Court, or rather the judges at the Election Petition Tribunal, has said despite the inauguration proceedings commencing or continuing, nothing changes the procession on the Election Petition Tribunal. All things will go accordingly. Although there is already a lot in terms of the procession for the inauguration on May 29, which will start from tomorrow. All right, there will be a couple of events, lining up to the eventual May 29. There's also a lot about to take place in that regard. So I want to hear from you what you think. The PDP has called out the All Progressives Congress and telling them that these speculations came out and you're not saying anything about it. What's your take? Is this true? And if it is true, then exactly why would you want to do that? But hey, the APC has refused to respond to that. Concerning the awarding of contracts, collecting monies to the dime minute, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has said that up until the 28th day, midnight on the 28th day of May, that the administration can continue to award contract and borrow money if they choose to. because they already have things in place to use these monies for projects meant to be executed. And so within the administration, constitutionally, up until 28th midnight, they can continue to award contracts, and they can also continue to, borrow more funds if the funds are desperately needed. Which brings us again to the fact that the president has actually asked for 539 billion naira today. And it was it was something worth looking into, called judgment debt pay. He's asking the Senate, asking for the Senate's approval. This came out actually yesterday evening, where he's requested for judgment debts owed by the federal government in the sum of 539 billion naira, right? And it's about 5 days or 4 days for the expiration of his tenure. We don't know how that process is going to take place. Will the House of Representatives or the Senate approve that? Because there's a process to go through in order for you to do that kind of thing, right? Starting from the Auditor General's office, Accountant General office, there's a whole process. Will that process be looked into in 5 days, or there'll be an oversight of it? These are the conversations that we're looking into this evening on the hot topic, and I actually want to hear from you. Also, apparently, it also seems to be that one of the former senators who represents the North Central actually said that the double nomination of Kashim Shettima, who is a vice presidential candidate of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is the president-elect, his double nomination will definitely not have any effect, meaning that it is not going to hold sway for any of the judges tomorrow to use that as a means through which to nullify their candidacy. Basically said and mentioned some other senators who were occupying an official position while they expressed an interest. He talked about Ahmed Lawan, who was occupying a position, expressed an interest to run for president, also Godswill Akpabio. So he said that every Nigerian has the right to do precisely what they want to do, and that nobody has a right to say they do not have any right to go through with their choice. And one was asking precisely, how is that capable? Remember that a lot of Nigerians feel that the double nomination situation with the APC, the president-elect and his vice, is a strong point, for the opposition to use against them in court. And I'm sure that's one of the petitions that the opposition has against them. So Shettima is saying that what's his name? Shehu Sani is saying that Kishima committed no offense on that ground. So he said no Nigerian should be denied the right and privilege of seeking another office if he fails to get one. He also disclosed, made reference to the fact that Ahmed Lawan contested for the presidential election and recontested to represent Yobe North Senatorial, which he won. He also talked about Godswill Akpabio as well. So these are the instances he gave, and he's saying that he doesn't think the double nomination as a subject of criticism with the critics dragging him to the Supreme Court will work. All right. So these are the hot topics, and quite a lot actually that I have mentioned earlier. So what is your take? The number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number to call is 0700 903 9039 0700 903 9039. What is your take on the conversation that we are having this evening? It's important and it's pertinent for you to join us, okay, on the conversation this evening. I have a call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Name and location, please.
My name is Abdulaziz, calling from Lagos.
All right, Abdulaziz. You're calling via the WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'm calling with WhatsApp.
All right, go ahead.
If we should decide continue to be talking about this man, a lot of people will just get high blood pressure, and a lot of people are going to run mad.
Why?
This man talking, Mr. Darlington, has said everything. So Buhari is just here to frustrate Nigeria. A lot happened in Buhari tenure. A lot. There's a lot. So we don't need to talk about it. Just let's leave this man. Let him pack his load and leave.
Sadly, my brother,
had enough of him.
I'm telling you, this is not how government are run. I'm telling you, it's
building,
so annoying.
Building
it's so annoying.
Niger bridge. Does it put food on
our table? We are talking of people that are dying in Benue.
Does it put food on people's table?
Our food
Buhari
basket.
Retire as a general officer in army. Look at the way all our Nigerian army are dying. With ordinary Boko Haram. Look at the way they are dying. So he didn't know what to do to rescue Nigeria from look at our massacre. Insecurity is too much.
And somebody telling me second
Look
Niger
how
bridge.
much are we buying fuel? He's telling us he built second Niger. Okay, the railway they came to commission. It's only nine. I've been hearing moving train. It's only in Nigeria I see pushing train. You went to come and commission a train, and people are pushing that train. How many times have you entered train from Mile 2 to Badagry?
I wonder.
Go and look at that road.
I wonder.
Go and look. Badagry Express Road now as condemned.
I wonder.
Everybody is now making use of this, the one at Ogun State.
I wonder.
Idiroko. That is where they are making use of now. How many people, if you want to go to a seminar, you have to go and follow Idiroko?
It's so sad.
The money he went to go and borrow, the Fashola is saying they can still borrow money to the die minute. He just wants to borrow the money to take care of his family and himself. So he's telling us that all the money he collected, he's using it to renew what is it called? What is this country is talking about? Where he came from?
Niger.
Niger Republic. Okay. Can you point, like, just give me a good moving road that is very well okay, that you can travel maybe day or night without accident within 1 month? Just tell me, name 2 roads for me in Nigeria. Go to Niger. Go and look at all the overhead bridge they are building in Niger. We have people in Niger. They are telling us what is going on there. Okay, look at the money they use, Dangote used to build refinery. Okay, all the money Buhari has been borrowing since all this year, we cannot use it to repair one of our own refinery, Abi.
Meanwhile, Niger have a refinery.
He's telling us he built second Niger bridge. Okay, let me just put it that, okay, maybe my mom still started cooking food now. And he now told me, I'm coming, I want to go and take my bath. Oh yeah, when the food is ready, just bring it down from fire. Am I going to say I'm the one that prepared the food?
I wonder.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Let's take more calls. All right.
Let this man pack his load and leave. We are tired of him. Let us pack his load.
In fact, Esther, you don't know the damage these people have done to my
good evening.
Nigeria.
Good
you
evening.
Don't know the damage.
Name and location, please.
And they are not even done.
My name is Samuel. I'm calling from Taco.
Samuel from? Hello.
Calling from Taco. Hello, can you hear me?
Samuel, you're calling from where, please?
I'm calling from Taco.
From Port Harcourt. Okay, Samuel, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Please, on this headline of second Niger bridge, I feel this thing is not even supposed to make an headline.
I wonder.
It's a normal thing a government supposed to do. A road, security, and all that. It's a normal thing. I don't even see one new thing this government brings to the stand for the common. Because I don't see, because somebody like me, I look at people politicians, I just come to enrich your pocket. Buhari as a person, hello?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Buhari as a person comes to make himself rich and other people surrounding him. Because on the whole 8 years, they have not done anything. To me, because I've seen other things, I've made use of the road, and I see that there's no one single express road. Look at like Port Harcourt refinery road to Buhari, to Garba. The road is not good. So what do they do? With the whole money they borrowed. So the president should give us a lot of money. Because to me, they have not done anything. They have not done anything. I have not seen a new company they brought to Nigeria for employment, nothing. So they have not done anything. They have account of the money. Or they should better share the money and give me my own portion so that I can go to Benin and start a new life.
You want to chop from the national?
Yes, the money they borrow, to just share it for everybody. I think if they borrow the whole money they borrow, they share it at least 1 million naira will go around all the youth. So for that, I will hold my own. I go to Benin State.
All right.
The country on itself.
Esther, maybe you don't even look. They
All
told
right.
you
Thank
you
you
are
for
owing
calling.
77
0700
trillion naira.
903 903 903. That's the number to call.
Does this
WhatsApp
country...
number is 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Name and location,
Hello.
please.
My name is Caro. I'm calling from the United States.
All right. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I think one of the callers have said just one of my points.
Okay.
I don't know why we Nigerians always want to glorify these politicians.
I'm telling you.
It's their responsibility for them to build bridges, construct roads, infrastructure. So him making that Niger bridge possible has nothing to be glorified for, because it's the taxpayers' money they have used to build that bridge. So I don't know why we Nigerians always want to glorify them for what they have done. It's just a fact. Have we investigated how much they spent on that bridge?
I'm
Look
telling
at
you.
Fashola is saying they have the right to borrow money till 29th or 28th of inauguration. Why? What do you need the money for? A new government is taking power in the next few days, and you're borrowing money. They just want to enrich themselves. If we Nigerians can't stand up and question these people or do what we need to do, the country will not. I don't want to use the word because I know you have regulatory policy in your radio station.
Thank you for being considerate.
I would suggest that we Nigerians need to stand up for our rights, because if we don't, these people will kill us. That is just my point. I want to thank Barrister Darlington. You are a great man. Please keep up doing your work, and we pray that God will protect you, because we need people more of you in that country.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks a lot. They are already
Now, you
killing us.
mean with Mr. Darlington, you
Yeah.
recall that the president actually gave out a list of what his administration in the past 8 years has been able to accomplish in key sectors, especially when it came to infrastructure, economy, power, housing, justice, amongst others. It was a full page 91 list. If a couple of Nigerians have been able to go through about 119 pages of that particular list.
191.
119 page publication, yes. And he stressed that on security, there were about 38 brand new aircraft which were procured for the Air Force since Buhari took over in 2015. He said that the Air Force now has a Kitty 12A29 Tucano, mentioned a couple of equipments that were given for the Air Force. Under the administration, the presidency stated that hundreds of battle tanks, minesweepers, armored fighting vehicles, mountain climber bikes, infantry fighting vehicles, all of them were given. They also stated that in 2021 and 2022 alone, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrested 24,000 drug traffickers, including 29 barons, while 3,400 offenders were convicted. On infrastructure, he talked about legislative reform. Nigeria was also under his watch, actually the biggest and most ambitious federal infrastructure program since Nigeria's independence. So that list had a couple of achievements, within his administration, and that he believes firmly in that, regardless of what you, Mr. Darlington, think, regardless of what any Nigerian thinks about the failed state of his administration. He is positive that he did a lot within his purview under the constraints and challenges that he witnessed. So don't you think he has a right to put his hand in his chest to say, I did my best and I did well?
Why not? Why not? Nobody will agree that the mother soup is not sweet now. Why not? This same person who said this thing, did he not come and beg Nigerians to forgive him for his misdeeds? Did he not come and beg Nigerians to forgive him for his misrule?
Hello, good evening.
So what is the contradiction?
Please kindly turn down the audio of your radio. Hello, good evening.
Can you verify any of these things?
Hello, good evening.
Can you verify any of them?
All right.
Like all the things they told you, can you go and verify any of them?
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Peter Joseph.
Peter Joseph, location, please.
Yeah. I called for a demo.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, let me first of all ask your guest there, did he have state governors? And if he has state governor, what was the achievement of his state governor for 16 years or how many years ago now? He should even ashamed of himself to tell us that, mention Jonathan, that some of people that what did Nigeria achieve under the PDP for 16 years in this country?
Good.
So he should be ashamed of himself. Honestly, I am not a fan of Buhari or whatever.
We have had
what was the achievement of the previous government in this country? Is it the bag of rice that is the achievement, like you said?
Good.
What is a bag of rice? You can buy a bag of rice even 100,000 if it is. You are mentioning bag of rice. That how much did Nigerian buy bag of rice? Is that a talk?
No.
That.
Okay, thank you.
Right,
Esther,
thank
please.
Right.
Under Jonathan, at least our human rights record was top notch. No media house was gauged. Under Jonathan, the exchange rate was 197 to $1. Under Jonathan, we had a middle class in this country. Under Jonathan.
The government will tell you there was no COVID-19 then and there was no Russia-Ukraine war.
Please, you see, COVID-19.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Darlington. I need to take calls. 0700 903
I want to answer that man. I want to answer
903.
him.
That's the number to call.
Even the state government, he's saying, in Imo State,
hello, good evening.
The Imo people, I'm from Imo, the Imo people did not vote
Hope Uzodinma. Location, please.
They imposed Hope Uzodinma on us.
Calling from Lagos.
Please go ahead.
First of all, I want to thank you and Mr. Darlington for giving us this opportunity to share our views.
All right, thank you.
I'm not a fan of any politician to start with.
Okay.
Worry on one lie. The guy fool everybody.
You have to speak outside set.
Worry not at all.
No, he has supporters. So.
In my own view, this man just came to bear the name Mr. President. He's so clueless.
The last caller is supporting him.
You can't say he's clueless, please.
Okay,
he's not clueless.
Let me take that one. Okay, let me take that one. He's vindictive. Because how can people be dying in your country? Nothing. No speech, no nothing. People are dying in Benue, in Kaduna. Your citizens that you swore oath
to protect.
The first responsibility
of any government.
Security is number one.
No, somebody said in fact, it's unfortunate.
We are not telling the government to come and put food on our table. Nigerians are hustlers. This government doesn't care. Is this man a father? I have children. You want to tell me now that if I pay my children's school fees, I will not tell the world that I tried. Is it not my responsibility? But every man, the first thing you have to do as a man is to protect your nuclear family that lives under you. That is what we are to this. That is what we are supposed to be to Mr. President. He only talked about people, 8 persons that died in Anambra last week because these guys are working for America.
Abi?
If these guys are not working for America, this man won't say anything.
That is it.
People are dying in your country, you won't say anything. That if somebody die in outside country like in America, you console with them. That your own people, your country, your own citizens under you, nothing. Whatever, I really don't care about it because it is for everybody.
Thank you. Please, I have to give 2 minutes so that we can take other calls.
Let me round up. What I'm trying to say is this debt they are taking, honestly, when they were taking this debt initially, they were thinking maybe they are not going to win because they know their record is not good. Because he said it with his own mouth. APC from top to bottom. APC from change to shame. It's no more change. Because we don't know the change. This one is a shame. So this money they're taking, maybe they thought maybe it might be PDP or maybe Obi that may win. Because if they really know it's their government that will win, they won't be taking this kind of money they'll be taking for long. Not only 4 years of this, what's it called, this Senate president. This if this man this was not there for the past 4 years, only 4 years of this Senate president, Adamu, what's his name? Look at where Nigeria is.
All right, thank you. We need to take more calls, all right? Thank you. Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Peter. My phone went off.
All right.
Yes, like I said, I am from Dikwa local government in Borno State.
Okay.
The numbers of people that was killed in Dikwa local government and Biu and Gubio local government in Borno State is under the leadership of Jonathan. It's even worse than the one of this Buhari. I am not doing the comparison. You cannot be president and be in everywhere. The part is that you cannot solve all the problems of Nigeria because the foundation lay on ground is so destructive that you cannot just. PDP have destroyed this country beyond repair. You understand? Okay, somebody is telling me that how much was the exchange rate of dollar exchange rate. Okay, with all that he has been mentioned, he should mention one of the critical infrastructure that was put in place under those administration for 16 years. He should mention one, not even two.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Are you done?
Thank you.
So many.
Listen,
my mother is from Nagatu local government in Benue State. I know the numbers of people that were killed in Nagatu local government in Egba village. 97 women and children were killed in the church in 2014 when Jonathan was still a president. What did he do?
You see, you can imagine.
We should tell us what was the achievement of our president since 1999 to date. I want you to mention one. We should not put blame on only one person. Mention one of the achievements apart from bag of rice and exchange rate. And what? See, honestly,
okay, we have heard you. Esther.
Hello, good evening.
We are not saying that PDP was perfect, but we are saying you promised to come and correct whatever you said the PDP did wrong. Only for you to worsen the whole thing. I don't know how these people talk. They should have been telling us that PDP, under their watch, there was insecurity. When Buhari came, he stopped it. Then we can be talking. Are you telling me that Nigeria was like this under PDP? No, hold on. Can somebody beat his chest and tell that under PDP, Nigeria was like this? That insecurity went this haywire. People should fear God when they are talking. No, they should fear God.
Okay, let me take some messages. Okay,
even the people that are suffering more.
Mr. Darlington, we need to take messages and as much as possible, including calls. All right. The level of open corruption by the outgoing government is a case study. Odaba. All right, Odaba, thank you for your message. Good evening, Esther and Mr. Darlington, my man of the year, like Adibantu sang in his song. Loyalty na cash and carry, objection na mortuary. All right, okay. Well, let's go back to your message. He says that as we're counting down to the end of disaster nightmare, can I use this time to congratulate Mr. President, the most traveled? Okay, I'm not going to take this message. Good evening, Esther and Mr. Darlington. The DSS are not serious, like just like Nigerian NEPA. You claim that there are people plotting to distract the swearing in come May 29, but yet you cannot go after those people. I guess those people plotting are invisible, right? GSS just they play, and yet you cannot fish out those terrorists within Nigeria. I beg, make them rest. This was from Chris from Ikeja. All right. We also have this message on WhatsApp. Good evening, Madam Host and Mazi. My name is Nemeka Okoye. May God bless you people. Please, my question is, this education, is it a blessing or a cost to us as a nation? Because all the criminal activities that is happening in this country is operating by the educated people. But the other side of the world, education is a blessing. Here, education is a curse. As we can see, Mazi, what this country needs is a better truth, not the sweet lies. Thank God, bless you people once again for being the voice of the voiceless. I thank you so much. Esther, good evening. Second Niger Bridge, you are congratulating Buhari and that he built is the only thing he could do for Southeast. He built train railway for Northern and Westerns. Southerners will stay 2 days before they reach East. Easterners are not yet Nigerian. Those in authority don't hear what the masses are saying, that the problems Nigerians are facing. All right, I'm Mrs. Okere from Ajagbadi. All right, thank you, Mrs. Okere. Good evening, VOP, Darlington and Esther. Second Niger Bridge groundbreaking ceremony was done by GEJ, that's former President Goodluck Abela Jonathan, and the coordinating minister Kunjo Iwala. Chinese Nexim Bank was the major sponsor with 70% contribution. Peter Obi and Emmanuel Udwaga, the then governor of Anambra and Delta State, invested hugely together with other stakeholders. Please note that the contractor, Julius Berger, who received 90% pay for the construction, projected to hand over the bridge before the end of 2019. Also, Adams Oshiomhole in 2015 suspended the contract for review, and the contract resumed in 2017 when he found out that the then government did the best then. Uche from Olondi Apapa.
Oh, did you hear that?
All right.
Did
Uche,
you hear
thank
that?
you. Good evening, Esther, Mr. Darlington. The story of Nigeria does not have beginning and will also have no end. This is because a country built on a false foundation always breeds liars as leaders, and Nigeria is one of such. For instance, President Muhammadu Buhari's comments so far show that he is okay. It is only the truth that can set us free. And this is from Sydney. Sydney from Ejigbo, Lagos. All right. Mr. Darlington said it all. It is a pity we cannot point to any minister as special one in this administration. They are all birds of the same feather that flock together. How can a president that ruled for 8 years be ready to jackpot after his tenure? There is God here. This is from Tony from Ejigbo. Thank you, Tony. Good evening, Esther. My name is Chukwudi calling from Lagos. It's obvious that the rulers of the APC are only the men that want their names to appear in the list of Nigerian presidents. They have nothing to offer on our table. All right. Good evening, sir. My question is, if the Supreme Court judge didn't show up in court tomorrow, please, what will happen? The Supreme Court will the judges will appear tomorrow. The election petition tribunal is slated to continue tomorrow. Any appointed date, they will all appear. All right. So calm your nerves. Good evening, Esther. PMB's tenure can only be described. I wish the incoming government would get things right. That is from HRH BC Nwoko. Thank you for your message, BC Nwoko. Hashtag hot topic with presenter and good evening, presenter and guests. Okay, this is a very long one. Very long one. I am sorry. But I will just understand. Please make it short because there's no time. Sorry, Mr. Darlington. I listened to your guests. Please let the guy go and check before he makes any statement. In time of President Muhammadu Buhari's military regime, never did he buy refurbished equipment. Please let your guests come and do research. All what he's saying is, okay, I'm a naval officer. Hope you know that opposition that is causing killing in Nigeria. Please, your guests shouldn't say what he doesn't know. Thank you.
Please,
under PDP, Nigeria was passed.
Let me put the record straight. Hold on, let me put it straight.
Okay.
Some military officers wrote letter, which we discuss here. And they said one of their grievances is that the equipment that were purported to have been bought are refurbished ones. And that is why their people are dying at the battlefield. That was one of their annoyance. When did I mention Buhari's military regime here? You see, when they want to do this propaganda, Esther, allow us to address it so that they will not go and sell the rubbish to the public. When did I mention Buhari's military regime? He saw the letter. It was all over. Sahara Reporter reported it now. Let him go and read that letter. These are the grievances of the military officers that wrote letters now. And we are talking about it here. And he's telling me, do you think we came here to play?
All right. Somebody on YouTube said, Mr. Darlington have said it all, but one of Buhari's minister who worked under the United Nations, her name is Amina Mohammed, that she's a good minister. One of the good ministers or good fruits from his administration worth mentioning. And that is from Dube Beal. Thank you, Dube Beal. All right. We also have, okay, no, I'm not gonna read this message. Good evening, Oga Darlington and Queen Esther. Una well done. Please permit me to say it's unfortunate that this administration produced for us. Nigerians have no comparison with any in the past. It's full of misappropriation of funds, borrowed monies, Abacha's loots, returned and recovered, deceptions and propagandas. And if bad is allowed to continue from President Muhammadu Buhari, it's going to be worse. Baba Beji from Oshodi. Thank you, Baba Beji. But let's be hopeful. President-elect has said his administration is going to be an all-inclusive one. He's going to set the top best cabinet members that will aid his process as the next president. All right, so let's just be hopeful. Okay, good evening, Oga Darlington. All right, okay, I've read this particular message. Good evening, Estilo. Oga Darlington, I greet you, sir. Yahoo boys want to do their final cash out. Sometimes I wonder if Buhari is a human being. May God help this country. Temple for my papa. President Muhammadu Buhari is a proper human being to the core. All right. Evening, Esther and Mr. Darlington. There is a saying, when a purpose is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. This government since 2015 built his house on lies and deception. 8 years of waste, sorrow, tears and blood. The most unfortunate thing is they are handing over to another for conspiracy of INEC, police conspiracy. Okay, we will see all of that tomorrow while the proceeding continues. So let's be careful with what we say. There, okay, that's it. That's basically most of the messages we have. Let's take more calls. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Name and location. I'm sorry. I know you've been calling, but I needed to take the messages. Go ahead, please.
It's Michael. I'm calling from Oka.
From Oka?
Ota.
Okay. Please go ahead.
This Buhari regime, that is, I don't know how to put it. It's a Brazil Zala. That is, it's a regime that is fooling the people and taking away their rights and creating fear in their hearts to a point that they cannot be able to even vote out. How could somebody say that it's less than 5 to pay the presidency? You are still applying for loan. Who is going to pay the loan? Let's just think about who is going to pay. What is the benefit? And they have treated us in such a manner that if the government should give us our entitlement, our democracy.
Hello?
Okay.
The line is breaking.
What that has to do with a common man who is going hungry? Now, let me let you know, sister, 90% of the funding of that fish was done by the Goodluck Jonathan administration.
No,
and Julius Vega said coming to deliver that project 2019. I know so well that the APC came in and adjusted the schedule of delivery so that they can take the applause of it.
Exactly, my brother. Exactly.
That's how I'm coming out.
Exactly.
So
That is the propaganda.
This man came in just to make a fool of Nigerians.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Nigerians don't know what is going on. They don't know what this government have done to them. They don't know.
Hello?
They think they are very clever.
Hello? Good evening. Kindly turn down the audio of your radio, please. Name and location.
I've done that. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Darlington.
Good evening, my brother. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Please, can I remain anonymous?
No, please. You have to tell us your name,
no,
please.
You can go ahead.
You can't remain anonymous.
Okon is on the line.
Thank you, Okon.
I want to tell Nigerians one thing. On Sunday, whether I have the money or not, I will get a live chicken. I will go and get a live chicken and celebrate.
Okay.
Don't ask me what I'm going to celebrate, whether it's the incoming or but I'm going to celebrate for an emancipation. Let me use that word.
Okay.
Because any Nigerian who said that the past years has been a good one for him must be a liar. But first of all, let me say something. All these calls that we are doing, what is the main aim? Is to correct some abnormalities or for calling sake?
Not for calling sake. We have this conversation and hopefully they are listening to it. They are watching it.
Yes, I'm coming, please. Now, if it is to correct anomalies, what are we doing to ensure that? Because there are a lot of things you hear on air or you hear on radio, newspapers, and all that. You'll be asking yourself, are these things in real life or you are dreaming? Because they don't look real. They are real, but they look too, I don't know how to put it, that it looks abnormal that such a thing will be going on and we keep quiet as if all is well.
Yeah,
all is not well in this country.
I'm telling you.
I'm just trying to be very, very frank with us. The earlier we start doing things to make sure we demand for an accountability, the better for all of us.
All right,
There are a lot of things going wrong in this country, and we appear that everything is well. Now, let me go back to issue on ground. Somebody said a lot of things, infrastructure has been put in place, this, blah, blah, blah. Are they not supposed to use our money for that? Isn't that what the money was meant for?
I wonder.
We are not asking for too much. We are asking, now I give you 10 billion and I come and saw that you use only 2 billion to do something. Have you not done anything? You have done something, but it does not justify the money I gave to you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Until we start getting things right, we will keep lamenting just the way, and it's very unfortunate. There are a lot of things. I am very addicted to radio, information and all that. But I don't like calling, because if I call, it will disturb me a whole day. Where are we going to start from? The only thing I believe will save each and every one of us is to see how we can come together and start fighting, demanding for our rights and accountability.
Thank you.
When we hear that something is going wrong here, we'll see, okay, what do we do?
All right.
Not just talking.
We need to take other calls, okay? We need to take other calls.
Happened. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I really like your line of thought. All right. Thank you for calling in. Okay, so let me take some messages. Hot topic with Esther concerning Garba Shehu's statement. I pray that the 8 years of President Buhari will not be better than the duration or tenure of the incoming president, because the incoming president has a lot of tracks to cover, because the outgoing administration has taken Nigeria back to the Stone Age. Nigeria needs a miracle right now. Those calling for the cancellation of the presidential inauguration on the 29th are naive. I wonder what they would do or say if INEC had declared Peter Obi as a president, and APC PDP is asking for the cancellation of his inauguration as president. What would they have done? Would they as well cite the same constitution that APC is citing today? I think we should allow the court to decide on this matter. Adegboyega Adidiji, thank you for your message.
Whether APC or LP or PDP, what we are talking of, due process should be followed on all things we are doing.
All right,
you
good
should
evening,
follow
Esther
the law.
And Mr. Darlington, I want you to read this past and present government and Lagos performance and governance, capacity and integrity. Fashola, Ambodi, Sonwolu, and Tinubu. This will tell either president will do better or not, because the journalists do not want us to discuss about him. Can you expect someone who didn't come for the... Okay, fine.
Abi?
I'm not going to continue reading that. Good evening, Esther. I think Mr. Darlington is a lawyer, or did he not? Or is he not? Talking about Imo judgment, did he read the judgment of the Supreme Court about the Hope case? If he did not, let him go and check the judgment details. As a lawyer, is supposed to educate ordinary people about it.
Yeah, fine. Listen very well. The person that spoke, you should remember that there was a minority judgment. And the justice who read that minority judgment told the whole world that judgment by the Supreme Court concerning Imo State, it will haunt Nigeria and Imo State for a long time to come. Is that not what is going on in Imo State today? Is that not what is happening today? He's telling me I should go and read what are you telling me to go and read?
Good evening, Esther. This is Abosede from Mafoluku. Buhari and his accomplice.
Hope Uzodinma went to local government and that gave him the governorship ticket.
Abosede, I'm not going to read this message. Hello, good evening.
So go and read it.
Hello, good evening.
Hello,
good evening. Name and location, please. Good evening.
Yeah, this is John calling from Berlin.
Calling from?
Berlin.
From Berlin.
Berlin. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. Yes, good evening. Mr. Darlington, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my dear.
I want to ask one question, I beg, before I go further. I beg, can you take me back to the because I read the comments where you I think one of the senators was saying that the double nominations of Kashim Shettima is not going to hold true.
Shehu Sani.
Can you please? Yeah, Shehu Sani said so. Okay, can you please remind me? Correct me if I'm wrong. If in the new Electoral Act 2020,
yes,
it is against the law, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's against the law.
It is, yes.
So it is against the law to have a double nomination.
Yes.
To context. Because if I can remember, I think Akpabio and Co, who contested for presidency, had to vacate their position.
For that.
If I'm not mistaken.
They did.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
For that. Okay, I just want to get that correction right. And now, speaking of the other issues and topic, Mr. Darlington, I don't want to waste my saliva. We all know that Buhari is a total failure. We knew. However, it's just that let him go and pack his load and go to Niger. that you want to go ahead. Let him carry his load and go there. Rating this government, a lot of things went really, really bad. Mr. Darlington, can I shock you? Do you know that if 80% of Nigerians living in Nigeria just say let them take a vacation trip to abroad and they come back, see how their government they treat them. Now them go carry stone.
I'm telling you.
Fight the government.
Yes. Don't finish. I will tell you something.
80%. If the 80%, and you know what? This government here, they just laid foundation. You go and do your hustle yourself. That is all Nigerians are seeking for. They just build institution that works. Go and do your thing by yourself. Nothing. The rule of law works. You can do anything you want to do, but the rule of law must prevail. But it doesn't happen in Nigeria. Imagine, say, person will do transformer for me. Say, make a return camp with my own money. Say, you need to thank him. You need to present him. You need to do because he built bridge. He built this. He built that. Now it's just like a lot of people do not know the responsibility of a government.
The government, yes.
What the government stands for the people. What does the government stand for the people? And what do the people stand to gain? Do the people hold their government eligible for their actions? Do the people hold the government eligible for their accountability and their success in the next government? Well, I don't know. It's just that Nigerians are deprived to poverty and lack of education. It's just like somebody go see bad because they give 100,000 naira or 100 million. It will continue to support the bad, forgetting that tomorrow, it will affect their own children. It will affect their own administration. Like I bet you, Obasanjo is regretting some of the things he did not do.
Have you?
Because now he's outside receiving the same heat like
Exactly.
us. He's regretting. Jonathan has completely been silent for some of these mistakes that he did not rectify.
All right, thank you. We need to take other calls, okay?
Buhari to see face is on. So, Mr. Darlington, I want to thank you for you to keep your good works up. I don't want to complain. I just want to keep it.
All right, thank you.
Words. And one more thing, Mr. Darlington.
Yes.
0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I'm so happy that this call was finally picked.
Sorry. I do apologize. All right, go ahead. What's your name, please?
Go ahead.
Oh, we lost that connection. Please kindly call back before we run off. Hello, good evening.
After he was...
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Name and location, please.
Esther, I'm calling from a solo. Emmanuel from a solo.
Emmanuel, how is the solo this evening?
Yeah, I'm fine. They are fine.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Darlington, I greet you.
I greet you, my brother.
Well done. You have already said everything. You put everything. I'm asking you.
Please speak English. Please speak English.
Hello. Let me just speak English. Everywhere I can hear you.
Speak English or in pidgin, yes.
You can speak pidgin English. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'll speak English. You know what? Nigeria now today, just 23, year of 23. 2023, then the election just came and go. And Nigeria is trying to tell us, the youth and entire Nigeria, that there's nothing like constitution anymore, They say cases on the courts. What are the courts waiting for? What are the tribunal waiting for? I thought that is, before you can become president in this country, you must get 25% in Abuja. What is holding it now? Let us be here now.
The matter is in court.
The matter is in court.
It's in court. Let's see what they will do. Just be patient. Be patient.
I know it's in the court. But why they said they are going to swear in by 29th?
It will take place. It's not going to stop the tribunal from continuing what they're doing. So inauguration will take place on May 29, as is within the constitution, because there is no place in the constitution that allows for a vacant government. All right. Okay. So inauguration will take place. After inauguration takes place, the election petition tribunal still continues.
Is our constitution now?
Hello. Good evening. Oh, we lost that connection. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Name and location, please.
My name is Bicarbonate, though.
All right.
I'm calling from Lagos.
All right. Please go ahead.
You see one funny thing, You see this thing they call tribalism, ethnicity, It is still the problem of this country.
It is.
Until they kill this problem, forget it. Everybody should just be wasting their time. Nothing. Nobody can go anywhere.
You see one thing, you remember 2015 when Urubebe was shouting seriously.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember.
We remember. Dino Melaye almost did the same thing to this time around.
Same thing. I was in the hospital that day when this man was shouting. I saw what this man has foresaw.
Had foreseen.
When he was shouting, but people were thinking he was just shouting. They molested him until today. So when the president he was shouting on his behalf, did not even know what he was even shouting for. He repeated the Dino Melaye. You see one thing about extrajudicial stuff that they are doing. I don't even know what to say now. And you see one thing again, a house standing against itself will not stand. But in terms of APC, it is a house standing with itself. The outgoing government and the incoming government, they are all with themselves. So you do not expect one party to do another party harm. When you talk about this swearing, let me tell you one thing, it will hold.
Okay.
No matter whosoever is thinking about it, it will hold. I know. I did not vote for. Listen, I did not vote for the present the incoming government. I did not. But I know one thing about this government. They will always allow it to come in. You see, another thing about contract award, that is one of my biggest issues. Let me start from even NNPC first. Give me, for example, if I'm the president.
Hello? Hello? Wow. Calls are just coming in and you must have jammed that connection. We need to wrap up at the moment. Already we have a next program coming up. Mr. Darlington, thank you for being part of the evening rush today. It was quite would I say an overwhelming one. Thank you. No, there's no time. We already have another call. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There's no time. But thank you for coming in this evening, right? Okay. My name is Esther Mwachuku. Remember that you can follow us on all social media platforms at VOP 90.3 FM. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and of course on Instagram at Esther Mwachuku. Esther Mwaz, Esther Mwachuku. Have yourself a wonderful evening and of course see you tomorrow.